Hello everyone, Casual Dan here, back from medical hiatus to bring you some gameplay of Hyperviolent, a game I tried out a couple months back, I believe. I wasn't too impressed with it. I'm hoping that in the meantime, since I played it last, it's in a better shape.
The soul mining rights to the rare and highly coveted helium. Though little is known about this volatile matter, demand has never been higher. Free from regulation or consequence, the Coalition now operates hundreds of brutal deep space mines in pursuit of greed.
You kind of have to be old and dried up and haggard like myself. But this opening is very reminiscent of the film Heavy Metal 2000, where you have these space miners and they find something super evil on a dig, and it transforms most of them, I believe, into berserk evil versions of themselves. And none more so than the guy who is actually looking for it, who we'll see in just a moment, as these space miners toil away. Here is the sinister mining foreman. Yes, here is the giant, evil space rock.
Over here! I found something!
I'm totally going to use its power for my own benefit.
Yes, this is it. I can feel it. Nothing can stop me now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that stopped him pretty well.
Scanning initiated. Scanning complete. Identified. Welcome aboard the IEC Commodus Asteroid 27C. It appears your passenger vessel was damaged upon docking with the station. You have come here to investigate the hailing frequency, I presume. How fortunate. You will find the denizens of this vessel are not well. They're behaving uncharacteristically violent. To navigate, use the WASD.
And the tutorial looks the same as before, which is fine, because actually it's probably one of the stronger portions of the game.
If you have a weapon equipped, use the left mouse button to fire your left-handed weapon. And use the right mouse button to fire your right-handed weapon.
You can dual wield in this. As you can see, I'm swinging my left and right hands, as you can put a weapon in each hand if they're one-handed weapons. There's also larger two-handed weapons.
And interact with your environment. Proceed through the airlock.
In my previous experience, the game was very melee heavy, and the melee combat, or the way you attack with melee weapons in this game, is pretty unsatisfying, and it's kind of silly looking too. All of the melee weapons you find generally have the same animation, I believe, and despite there being several different melee weapons, they all feel very weightless, and the sounds with the impacts of the weapon on the monsters that you attack or on the surfaces that you strike don't provide any sort of sense of impact. And also, as you could see from when I was swinging my little foot-long pipe size of a school ruler. The animation is overly simplistic, and it looks like, by the range of motion, that I'm just tapping whatever it is that I'm, dare I say, striking with the weapon, and yet enemies fly apart when they die after being struck with them. To see an example of a game with simple but impactful melee combat, let's look at the FPS Coltic. The hatchet your character wields is just a few variations on how it's swung, but the sounds you hear when attacking with it provide a sense of weight and impact. The weapon swinging animation is very simplistic, but conveys a sense of speed and force. Using the hatchet has a visceral feel to it that makes it more entertaining. Anyways, let's get back to Hyperviolent. The exclamation point is still there. I mean, did I miss something? Did I not do what they had intended with it? Kind of has a musical quality to it, like I'm beating garbage cans even when I'm hitting a window. Which I understand. This is a small indie developer. It's just, there's these small things that they can change that would get a bit more immersive. As far as pixel art graphics, it's, it's fine. I really like pixel art graphics, and it doesn't take a whole lot to, I think, entertain me. This is perhaps on the lower spectrum of that, but that's perfectly fine. Now, as I recall, this corpse gets up and attacks me, which, hey, it's a fine jump scare. There's actually several of those, as the enemy is almost constantly trying to bamboozle you. One thing I don't like about this, though, is that, you can really attack the zombie while it's still laying there, and you can't kill it. Or, whatever you consider the end point to violence on a zombie. You can, unanimate it or whatever. But no matter what you do to the corpse before you get up and leave the room, it still charges you. Which I think it would be nice for some extra player agency if we could say, a clever player thinks, I'm used to this type of horror movie bullshit. I'm going to decapitate this body before I leave the room. And I think that a player should be rewarded for that.
Some areas may be harder to reach than others. Press the space bar to jump.
These things are relentless, fucking unstoppable, but they can't seem to climb very well. I'll probably die up here. Oh, hey. Okay. So the enemies that have firearms in this, I found to be pretty annoying because their reaction time is incredibly fast. And they have hit scan weapons, meaning that there's no projectile, like a laser or something, some sort of particle that leaves the barrel of the weapon to fly through the air to possibly hit or miss you. It's just, generally, if they see you and they fire, the projectile hits pretty much instantaneously what they're aiming at. That was actually the first time I've ever had one miss me, so maybe they switched that up a little bit. I do really like the sound effects and the music. The music is good. I think very fitting for the setting. And you know, as far as space zombies go, I mean, they're pretty creepy. Yeah, and here's another thing. I don't like a whole lot. There's... And given, I do believe in a narrative standpoint, it makes sense, but just... I don't really like it when games have areas that don't have any point to going into. I think that's just kind of a waste. And also, you saw that zombie come out and just immediately start blasting me. Everyone has lost their mind. They're eating each other. Poor Mr. Lars. But there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, you know, in regards to the environment. You know, there's the proper amount of carnage you'd hope for in a zombie game, and you know, the environment's kind of in shambles. Eerie in that the environment stays largely, I believe, silent, except for you know, when you've alerted something to your presence and it's decide to come eat you or shoot you to death and eat you. There's my blue key. And another thing, very throwback to, say, the original Doom games that came out on DOS, is that you have your different color-coded keys that you need to get through the appropriate doors, which, you know, that's fine. You can also see that those zombies' aim is pretty unerring, and they just come out blasting. Although sometimes the pathing isn't that great on, I guess you could call it, their AI, and they'll often get stuck behind obstacles. And gonna gulp down some soda here. Delicious. Slugs. My helpful faceless AI has informed me that the power is out. I guess I should go fix that. As I recall, yeah, there's this little side passage down here that I don't believe it really leads to anything. Perhaps I missed a secret or, you know, something like that, but it's just a wasted opportunity, I think, to have these little tucked away places and to not have anything in them at all. Even, say, a you know, like a data pad with a little bit of story or a corpse or an item to interact with.
The bulkhead requires power to open.
I did like that, though. He waited until I looked at him before he started shooting me. Kind of made me jump a little bit, actually. Clay, Reactor 3 has been on the fritz since the incident. I won't let those pricks in admin have my ass for this. Hurry up and inspect the reactor core. Well, it's not really your concern anymore, A. Ross. Heyo. Alright. And I think that a hallmark of a good FPS game is a functional and fun shotgun that's very satisfying to use. As I recall, the shotgun in this game kind of sucks ass. Where the hell am I going? Oh, hey. Hey, found the problem, guys. It was just a severed arm. It was the old severed arm in the power generator.
Cleared the obstruction. Sector 3 reactor is now online.
I'm not going to mess with it, but one thing you can do is you can use the severed appendages you find as weapons.
Please stand back.
Okay, and see, there we go. Again, it appears as if I've, solved the issue with the lock, restored power, and opened the door, but the exclamation point is still there. Developers, just get rid of the exclamation point unless there is, actually something I can still do with it. Oh, also, this game, and I'm not sure if you can change this in settings. If you can, no big deal. But otherwise, it's possible to die and lose a lot of progress because the only places to save are at these save stations. It definitely makes for a more hardcore, kind of pants-shitting experience if that's what you enjoy. However, if you're a more casual player, it could be kind of detrimental to your experience. Regardless, everyone, I think we're going to leave it here for today. This has been Hyperviolent. It's a promising game. It's in early access. I think it still needs a lot of work. There's a number of things that I think could be changed, just in basic gameplay, to make it feel a lot better and a lot more satisfying. If you happen to be one of the game's developers, and there's the very small chance that you'll see this video, please take my recommendations to heart. I think that you might have a very enjoyable game with some changes. Anyways, everyone, thank you very much for watching. This has been Casual Dan. Very grateful for your viewership. Please join me again on my upcoming videos. And if you haven't seen them yet, maybe give my older videos a click as well. Anyways, again, this has been Casual Dan. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you're doing well. Come see me again. Oh, and please like and subscribe.